It's my delight to welcome you to the continuation of your news and current affairs program, reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio on the ITV network. I am Joshua Okata. On the program this morning, we'll be looking at the war against drug trafficking in Nigeria. And of course, this is coming against the backdrop of several activities that played out during the course of the week, which also came under the radar of the NDLEA. And of course, to have this conversation this morning with me, I am being joined virtually by Dr. Dayo Kayode, who is joining us in Lagos. Good morning, Doctor, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, good morning, Josh. I could see that you had a very nice weekend the way you were yarning while you were being prepared. However, let me quickly, for 30 seconds, add this to your conversation from Abuja. That the coming election in 2027 is not about ADC versus APC. It is about APC versus the people. And time will tell. We are all waiting.
All right, that's been noted. And of course, it's about time now for us to delve into our conversation this morning. Like I said earlier, in the course of the week, several, drug-related activities came under the radar of the NDLEA. Precisely on 23rd of July, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, said its operative intercepted a suspect named Chidi Agbafo along the Ekpe-Aja Expressway with a consignment of about 21.7 kilograms of Colorado, some of which were packaged well concealed in a moi moi, cooking sachet, and of course another consignment, 3.8 liters of codeine-based syrup in a commercial vehicle that is en route to Warri and Ogara in Delta State. So what's your take as regards these two seizures?
Yeah, you see, over time, people like me had gone into some form of research as regards why is it that in Nigeria, despite all the efforts we have been making to curb, especially drug trafficking and involvement, as well as corruption in this country, and in some other crimes like China, United Arab Emirates, Bangkok, and some other countries, all these things are being fought effectively. I mean, all these societal vices were being fought effectively. And my research has shown me that the aggregate of a people's value system can be understood or visualized or even evaluated based on the leadership value of that particular society. What do I mean? I will give you a very recent example. 2023 election, we're all aware of what cropped up at the court as regards the integrity value of the president, the current president, whereby there are some files that some people were demanding the FBI to release. And what did he say at that time? He said if his records were being released by those people, it will cause an irreparable damage to its integrity. So why? Why will that cause irreparable damage to your integrity if what people have been saying are not right? Immediately after that, we are all aware of what happened as we got a small girl that forged, I think, UTME result. UTME result. We are all aware of the drug haul that happened in Korodu, and on and on and on and on like that. What am I saying here? Fighting against illicit drug is not enough. It cannot even get us to anywhere except Nigeria decided on its own to forge a national integrity value, and of which everybody will have to comply, no matter who you are. I will also give you another instance. Look at some people now, especially the youth. There is that belief that even having proper education is not synonymous to success within this environment. Why? Because such an hypothesis had been confirmed based on the set of leaders that are ruling Nigeria presently. Let me allow you to ask further questions. From there, some other things will emerge. Thank you, Josh.
All right, now let's look at the issue of Colorado and codeine. Is Nigeria a very huge and strategic market when it comes to the supply of such product?
Yes, why will it not be a strategic market based on my opening remarks? Who are the people that are in the helm of affairs of Nigeria? From top to the bottom, from presidency to the local government. Check them out. We now need to find out. We need to find out what are their involvement in this. What are their involvement in this? We need to find out. We also need to look at, are they also part of the connivance to the buying and selling of all of this? We also need to find out to what extent are they also users, peddlers of all of this. So it is when we have been able to have a proper understanding of this, that yes, some established facts can be derived, and to that extent being able to know how to tackle this. As a way forward.
All right, now let's look at the issue of the seizure. Is it just enough arresting the suspect? Is it just enough seizing the content itself that are being trafficked? How about the supply chain?
Exactly what I've just said. Exactly what I have just said. When you're talking about supply chain, it has to do with, from number one, who are involved in bringing this in, and who are involved as end users. That's an aspect. Another aspect is this: when these people are being caught, have they been uh, 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 punished accordingly? Has there been have they been according enough punitive measures that will deter others from it? I was reading a news yesterday. A former NIHS leader, secretary, who had been running a case with EFCC at the court for some time, allegedly embezzled millions of dollars, and at the end of the day, they are now saying he was sentenced to paying was it 10 or 100 million naira, 10 or 100 million naira out of the whole money that was supposed to have been used for our health care. You are now asking him to pay such a little amount, or to jail such a person, life imprisonment. So these are issues that are facing us, that we have not been able to track towards ensuring that we have a sane society whereby some of these societal vices will be curbed. So Josh, it's beyond seizures, it's beyond understanding the supply chain, and it's beyond all these things we are talking about. Rather, deeper than that, we need to make our curbing of all the societal vices to be deeper, even deeper than what we are doing now. Our institutional framework towards this must be holistically strengthened so as to achieve results.
All right. Within the same period, we also experienced that there were also another seizure that happened under the radar of the Ndlea, this time around at their Papa Seaport, where a total number of 101 kilogram of Canadian loud factory, well packaged in a 202 tins of imported food item with the label bean salad mix, and well concealed, as it were, in a 2 Toyota Sienna buses in a container that came all the way from Canada. Now the question is, how did this happen where such consignments were properly concealed with a label which to a layman might not even know this is what is in that particular container? I'm talking about something being labeled in a food container called bean salad mix. What sort of intelligence goes into all of these packaging?
Number one, is there anything even like bean salad? That's number one. Bean salad. I've never heard that before. I've heard about vegetable salad and all that, but bean salad. However, let me at this point quickly also appreciate the dexterity and the technical know-how of our officials in the agency that controls drugs, that is the Ndlea. If they had not been tracking all these things from all over the world, and if they have not been effectively synergizing with such agencies all over the world, there is no way they will have been getting this information. And let me also tell you, there is nothing there. It's not that all those guys in Ndlea are using juju or okurumagba, the way some other people will call it, or udeishin or odeishin, or the way some other people will call it. Rather, they have been synergizing, because some of the time I read about the activities of some of these agencies like EFCC, NDLA, NAFDAC, what do I call them now? Um, those people that are
All
in
right,
charge of
doctor.
control. Wait now,
All right, go ahead. Go
control
ahead. Go
this
ahead.
thing. They have been synergizing with their counterparts all over the world, all over the world, and that is highly commendable. And to that extent, they have always been able to make necessary arrests here and there. Those who that controls how effective our goods and services should be, and all that and all that. They have always been synergizing. They have been going to trainings. They have been collaborating with their world counterparts. So we should also give them kudos. It's just unfortunate that the environment whereby they are operating is not allowing them to show successes, to be able to establish successes which they have been making over the years.
Let's quickly go for this short break, and when we return, we'll be able to establish connection with Dr. Kayode. Please do stay. Many thanks for staying with us, and of course, if you just joined us, we've been talking about the war on drug trafficking, and of course, this brings us to several activities that were, that came under the radar of the Ndlea during the course of the week. One of which is a seizure from Canada, where we have a consignment to the tune of 101 kilogram of Canadian loud factory, well packaged in about 202 tins of imported food item. And of course, we've been having Dr. Kayode expatiate more on this. Doctor, I was asking you before we dropped off that what is the connection between Nigeria and Canada when it comes to the distribution of, drug-related activities?
Yes, I wouldn't see the relationship between Nigeria and Canada vis-a-vis the distribution. Rather, I will see a kind of a collaborative effort between Canada and Nigeria. Because of recent, I have read news concerning a kind of a synergy between that of Nigeria and Canada, that of Nigeria and Bangkok, that of Nigeria and Pakistan, that of Nigeria and the China, UAE, America, South Africa, because these are all the areas that people normally bring in all these illicit drugs. So to a very large extent, I will not deceive you. I'm not a praise singer of anybody or any organization. But NAFDAC, NSO, Nigeria Standard Organization, NDLEA, EFCC, and there may be one or two agencies have always been collaborating with international organizations, and they have always been appraising the effectiveness, dexterity, and professionalism of our officers. No doubt about that. This I've been reading, but it's so unfortunate that the environment they are operating is not allowing them to be able to showcase a lot of successes they have made in the past, and some that they ought to have, made. It's so unfortunate. The environment is not allowing them to exhibit fully their potentialities. Talking about collaboration, talking about professionalism, talking about understanding what they are doing, give it to them. They are trying, but we need to look at ourselves inward, our inward system. What is our integrity value? What is our integrity value? What is our national integrity ideology? Do we have? So these are the issues that we need to be looking at to be able to cope all these things. Because once it's like a puzzle, the moment you get the first one right, others will follow.
All right, now let's look at this same particular raid, by the Ndlea. It is said that a particular Chinese person in the person of Liang Teg Yu was arrested. And the most worrisome of it is that an 80-year-old grandma by name Mrs. Grace Ekpema was also arrested. What's your take as regards such an aged woman who is also involved in this illicit trade?
You see, let me first of all start from the Chinese. Go and do a costly analysis as regards activities of the Chinese in this country. Is it about using our citizens, especially the youth population, as machine without due compensation, or with series of cyber crime activities that they have been caught with, or even using them by those at the top echelon to siphon our commonwealth in this country? So if that being the case, what do you expect? They believe that they own the country and they have the cover of the powers that be, and to that extent can do and undo. So you need to understand the involvement of the Chinese along that line. Talking about the woman, 80-year-old woman, it is what the Yorubas always call ainitelorun oloju kokoro. That is somebody who is never satisfied, somebody who has penchant for always acquiring without satisfaction. 80-year-old woman, what else does she want in life? Great grandmother for that matter. And when you see such a woman, what do you expect of her offsprings? What do you expect of her offsprings? But it's a pity. Follow it up. You will know that legbelegbe tó ń jó lójú omi kankan lùlù fún lábẹ́lẹ̀ odò. That is to say, that tiny insect that is dancing on top of water, there is somebody drumming for it underneath the water.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Dayo Kayode, for that very deep, rapid saying, and of course your expansion on this matter. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Josh, for having me. Enjoy the day and the rest of your week.
Thank you
Hoping
so
to
much.
be with you very soon again.
All
Bye.
right, you too. Bye-bye. All right, that's the much we have for you this morning from our Lagos Network studios.